Oh, Nils, I'm gonna miss you, buddy. Today we are talking about Vancouver Canucks forward Nils Hoglander in all of his umlaut power because there was an update from Rick Dollywald speaking on Halford and Bruff earlier this morning that indicates that the future of Hoglander might not actually be with the Canucks. And I just wanted to say this before we dive into it. There is a radio hit, of course, but Nils Hoglander is a guy that I personally would have loved to see explode as a Vancouver Canucks forward option. He's 25 years old, he's 5'9", he's 185, he's born in the same year that I was. There is a connection that we 2000 kids feel with each other. Hoglander was a 40th overall pick back in the 2019 NHL Entry Draft, second-round guy that some folks had as a first-round guy. Hoglander was ranked 19th overall by elite prospects. He was ranked 29th by future considerations. Make no mistake about it, the fact that this guy went in the second round was mostly due to the fact that he is only 5'9". But there were a lot of great qualities that made Hoglander a valuable prospect for the Canucks. His tenacity, his skill. There were a few highlights and lowlights throughout the course of his Swedish career, from the Zorro/Michigan goals that he would be able to score consistently, to the nasty elbows that got him suspended over and over again. Hoglander's time in Sweden was definitely filled with a lot of different kinds of highlights. But inevitably, Hoglander became a 20-goal scorer in the National Hockey League with the Vancouver Canucks, and his 23-year-old season saw him get 36 points in 80 games. This year was particularly great for most Canucks players, as JT Miller had 100 points, Quinn Hughes won the Norris, Elias Pettersson had 89 points, and then you had a whole bunch of guys getting 20 goals on the team. Besser had 40, Miller had 37, Pettersson had 34, Hoglander 24, and then you had Connor Garland with 20, and Dakota Joshua, who had scored 18 in only 63 games played. There were a number of guys that were doing well in Vancouver that season. And Hoglander, for all the skill that he has, unfortunately, fell off the hardest. He had 25 points the next year, which is not that bad of a downgrade from 36, but he went from 24 goals to 8. And then this season, he's only got 2. Hoglander and his career has gone down a very unfortunate path that you could very well say is mostly due to usage, ice time, and line mates. That's why he is not producing as much. But with that said, we have ourselves an update from Rick Dollywald and Halford and Bruff in the morning that was summarized courtesy of Canucks News Summaries, so big shout out over to them and their craft. There are a number of things that are talked about here, from the young defense to Hoglander to the lottery to the future of Patrik Allvin. We could also talk about that as well. And then there's a conversation on Mike Gillis with the Toronto Maple Leafs, which, I mean, I guess we can dive into. I don't really think it's super necessary for this video, but let's just see if we can get there. Starting out, though, with the first part of Rick Dollywald's Halford and Bruff hit this morning. There was a conversation on young defensemen around the National Hockey League, and the ones on the Canucks. They're going to make mistakes because of their youth and the time it takes to learn the position in the NHL. Dollywald says he doesn't understand why they are playing Pierre-Olivier Joseph or Vittorio Mancini. Isn't Mancini also young, technically? Like, of course, you want to prioritize the Villanders, the Bouillams, and the Elias Petterssons, but Mancini is 23 years old. What are you talking about? This guy is definitely in that age range where he can be a long-term option too. That's just my perspective, at least. He's starting to see some nice offensive plays from Tom Willander. Bouillam and Willander are both off-the-chart character kids, and Dollywald has no doubt that they will both wear a letter in the future. Yeah, I agree with that. Those guys are so great to listen to. They say all the right things and then some. They surprise you with how mature they are for the young play that they provide. These guys are definitely going to be big leadership parts of the Canucks long term. Nils Hoglander Dollywald says he would be very surprised if Hoglander is a Canuck to start next season. The guy is not getting any ice time, and he's a frequent healthy scratch. Hoglander needs a change of scenery. Heck, you could even debate that Hoglander can get traded with Elias Pettersson, because those two had some pretty interesting chemistry back when they were playing together for parts of the 24 year. Hoglander was a 5-on-5 goals machine. For whatever reason, he was just scoring like crazy. Have him get traded with Elias Pettersson if you want to push both of them to their best potential. But Hoglander hearing that the guy is probably going to get traded, that's not a surprise, especially at this point. Obviously, it hurts as a fellow 2000-born dude to see other 2000-born guys get traded so young into their careers. But, hey, Hoglander still has potential. He's not that old. Speaking about the draft lottery, Dollywald says the Canucks have lost it 4 or 5 times in a row. Yeah, that's the case, man. Heading back all the way to the olden days where the Canucks lost the first overall lottery with a coin flip to the Buffalo Sabres. That was the beginning of the end for the Vancouver Canucks. While it's true, there was a brief few minutes in time where the Canucks actually held the first overall pick back in 1999. They quickly traded it down because they needed to get the Sedins at 2 and 3, so that was a very different scenario. Either way, we'll see whether or not the Canucks are able to get the first overall pick this year. They already have last place locked up. They can win all their games and still get last, so that's the pretty good position that they have themselves right now. Meanwhile, speaking about the people that will make the decision as to whom it is the Canucks draft in first, second, or third, management. This is what Dollywald says about management's future. He has also heard that Patrik Allvin was telling people he thought he was going to be fired. Okay, so there is validity to the Nick Kyprios report. Patrik Allvin apparently was going out there and telling some folks around the block, yeah, I don't expect to be back here. I'm going to leave. Okay, not leave. Leave implies that it's via his own decision-making. He could get fired here, folks. Dollywald also says that everyone should be under review. There are some folks that still believe Allvin will be fired. We won't find out until the season is over. No one has said that Rutherford won't be back, though. Dollywald doesn't think that Rutherford wants his legacy to be a last-place finish. He assumes he wants to leave the Canucks in better circumstances when he steps away. Which I do think is a pretty mature thing for Jim Rutherford to go out there and label as his goal. Obviously, the guy is so old, so he's kind of nearing the last few years of being able to manage an NHL team anyway. But to see that he actually does want to leave the team in a better place, it's like the campfire rule. You leave it better than you found it. That's exactly what Jim Rutherford is going out there and preaching over here. Vancouver, it's going to be hard to leave the Canucks in a better place than they were when Rutherford initially took over, but he can try, and I appreciate that at the very least. Ownership is not happy. They're still thinking about what they want to do. Okay, here's what you gotta do, ownership. Just rebuild. Let the team stink for years and years and years. That's not a problem here. Dollywald says that economics will play a decision. Rutherford and Allvin have term left. He's not defending the owner, but he's saying that if everyone stays, it'll be because they don't want more dead money on the books. And as we had noted just a few videos ago on the... what was it? It was yesterday, I think it was, yeah. As we had noted just yesterday, the Vancouver Canucks lost so much money over the past few years through their Overwatch and Call of Duty teams, so yeah. Hearing that Francesco Aquilini wants to do whatever he can to save as much money as possible, not surprising. Not surprising. With that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. More of this discourse about Patrik Allvin getting fired. How do you feel about the Nils Hoglander trade discourse as well? Do you think this is an inevitability, and where do you think he gets sent over to? If you're a fan of another team checking out this video, would you want a Nils Hoglander? He's very aggressive, and he can play very nicely. It's just... he doesn't play often. That's the problem in Vancouver. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on. And bye.